Hi, this is Father John Berry, and we're in Day to Day with St. Joseph. And I use my whiteboard to keep on track here. April 15th, Thursday, and our program continues on a theme from yesterday, Down to Earth with St. Joe. Down to Earth, Part 2. Okay? And when we say down to earth, we mean yes, Joseph had a natural death and he was placed in the earth where all must go. And ashes to ashes, dust to dust. He stands apart from Mary in the Holy Family in that when she went into the last sleep, into her dormition, she was assumed into heaven. So she really went from sleeping at the last hour, last minutes of her life, right into an assumption. Joseph didn't have that. He had to be buried. And he stayed in the tomb until Jesus came and called his soul forth after Calvary was finished, after the cross had won Joseph and all sinners into paradise. But Joseph was laying at rest for some years. My theory is that Jesus' ministry happened not long after Joseph's passing. I have to say the source of that is actually a movie. I think it must have been seeing the movie Jesus of Nazareth and how they portrayed Joseph so well in that. An hour and 20 minutes of the opening of that film, remember it goes like 6-7 hours or something, they devote the backstory with Joseph and Jesus and Mary so well, and they show Joseph even on his deathbed in the story. So that's where I get it from. So Joseph, we can identify with him in one way in that we have that same kind of temporal story. And there is a birth date, a dash, and then a last day on earth date on our tombstone, if someone would mark it there. And so we'll have that in common with Joseph. And down to earth, or laid into the earth, or entombed, or put in a crypt, but we will have our finish too. Jesus sees the natural end to Joseph. We don't think Joseph dies violently or of an awful sickness or something, but he dies some kind of a natural way, but it's not really given a lot of information for us. We do know that he's been the patron of a holy death, that he died strong in his faith. And if you're surrounded by Jesus and Mary so much, then you can imagine that he was in good hands there. Patron of a happy death, happy would be if you're ready, prepared for your Lord, and if also ready and that you've made peace and reconciliation with other people and spoken loving words to them. In the work of the church and anointing people for death, last rites, viaticums, last communions, visits, confessions. It's wonderful to see people also get the same kind of favor that was given to Joseph, in that they have the opportunity. Of course, the priestly ministry that you give as a parish out to this community, you're the one sustaining me. You give me then the opportunity to be out there doing it in your name. And I know some of you too out there helping people in their final days and caring for them, comforting them. And I think Joseph is kind of in that position of being cared for in the end. And sometimes that's a very hard place to be, we say in the titles of Joseph, Comforter of the Afflicted, and he is. But I think Joseph also is a figure that can identify with the person who's lying in bed. I think people have worked all their life long, but now are unable to, and they're bedridden or they're wheelchair ridden or, chair ridden. It's hard for them to let it go, the working kind of life. And Joseph certainly was a doer and a worker and a man that was just busy. And can you imagine maybe him at the end just all of a sudden just slowly going, losing his energy, losing his vitality, and knowing that something's coming, and then he has to just let go. Well, it's good to have Joseph, Saint Joseph, with us and with us in the world that all have to go that way. Now, you and I do pray for a holy death. We do pray that we'll be ready. And that's the mission of your faith, to be prepared. Prepare thyself. Prepare the way of the Lord who comes in the second coming for you, and also comes at death for you, and to prepare. And, not everybody, though, dies peacefully. I'm certainly reminded of the tragedies of life on this day in the calendar, April 15th. Some of the things that have happened on April 15th, right? Lincoln died of the assassination shots at him. They were shot at him the night before. Died right in D.C. You can go see the place right across from Ford's Theater. I have. Probably you have too. We think of the great tragedy of the Notre Dame Cathedral. We're glad that not only lives are lost, but this tremendous church went up in flames. And that happened on April 15th, just not long ago. We think of the Titanic sinking. It was struck on the 14th, and it went down on the 15th, and a lot of lives perished. And they were traveling in luxury, and the last thing I thought would happen would be the end of their life on that ship, the indestructible ship. But indeed, they do die, and some very shocked people. But the calendar today reminds us that some people go that way. And so sadly, the pandemic and COVID-19 took a lot of lives in the year behind us. Today, the Boston Marathon shooting, the bombing that is, that took place on April 15th. So let's hope that you and I can survive April 15th today. And in many years, it's tax day, which makes it even really unpleasant. And, well, you know what they say, two things for certain, death and taxes. Well, it's actually more things certain than that. And in fact, as we're in the resurrection Easter season, blessed assurance, Jesus is ours. Blessed assurance, Jesus has made a covenant with us and he wants to be good for it. Will we let it happen? Will we cooperate with God? Will we, in our day-to-day walk, give us this day our daily bread? Will we let God be God in our lives? And will we draw near to Christ? Joseph is inviting us to do that today. And he's saying, not just in a great aura of sanctity, but in an earthy way, you draw near to the Lord. This is Father Barry.